So the Apex devs just came out with a AMA on Reddit, and there's a lot of interesting stuff coming about talks on upcoming buffs, new legends, and some really exciting stuff for the future. So I thought I'd kind of jump in and take a read through it. We've got Eric. He used to be the lead weapons designer, but now he is the Battle Royale designer, I believe. Jay Beebs, he's been around for a long time. We've got a few other devs here as well. So these guys are pretty passionate. I've met a couple of them. They're very into making this game fun and balanced. So we got a bunch of questions to go through. Quite interesting to see what they have planned and what their thoughts are on the current changes in the meta. Obviously, with so many changes this season with the time to kill and everything. It's going to be quite interesting to read through this. So why hasn't Seer received any updates or buffs compared to other legends? Are there any plans to improve his abilities in the future? Yeah, let me zoom in even more for you. There we go. Yeah, we're aware Seer is lying at the bottom of the dream pool. He's on the radar, and no. We've been discussing some potential changes for Seer in the future. Look, I think the recon class is in a bit of a weird place with so many other characters having recon based abilities in some form or another. But the least favorite meta I've ever had in this game was the Seer meta. Maybe it was a bit of a problem back then because there were so many wall hackers, but it was so easy for cheaters to hide amongst their recon abilities. But the Seer meta was a horrible time. Our current focus lies in the meta changes around the Assault class, and we want to highlight skirmishers next. So yes, it looks like we're going to get some skirmisher buffs next. So a lot of people have been asking about them buffing these skirmishers. Looks like it's coming. But after those are complete, we'll likely start looking at getting some love back to those underperforming legends. Okay, so looks like we've just got Assault class buffs. We're going to get skirmisher class buffs next. And then after that, we'll probably get the buffs for underperforming legends. So, wow, a lot of changes. Question from our JP community via Twitter. Are there any planned updates for specific classes? It seems like certain classes receives updates more frequently than others. Will there be a more balanced approach in the future where all classes are improved equally? And just straight up saying skirmisher class is next. All right. Well, each class is being focused on and the perks that come online have been coming in fairly hot. We do want to ensure when all is said and done, each class feels a little more balanced. So like we saw with the support class, we should expect to see the Assault class perks simmer down a little. So they're probably going to look at nerfing, bringing down the power of Assault class perks. I think that's a nice way to do it. Yes, the support meta was a bit obnoxious for some people, but it definitely changed the meta and put them in the spotlight. And I think over buffing things like that is good for the short-term health of the game, just to get people excited to try new things and get people off their main. So I think that's good. I'd rather they make it too strong and tone it afterwards than the other way around. Like, I think that's a good approach. So I'm happy to see them do the same with Skirmisher next season, hopefully. Question, will Fade and Rhapsody from Apex Legends Mobile ever make a return to the game? There are currently no plans to add the mobile legends to Apex. There's a lot of rumors going around that Fade would be the next hero or he'll be added eventually. I can't believe I've been playing so many other games that are called it hero. I like Fade. I like Rhapsody. It's a shame to see them just kind of not exist in the main version of the game in any way whatsoever. Currently no plans is always a nice way to say we don't want to say anything, but maybe they'll never come, at least for the time being. They don't want to say yes, to something like that. This is a non-answer in a sense, but I guess maybe we'll never know. Okay, question from our JP community. The Nemesis seems to outperform other weapons. With the ability to equip an Accelerator, it becomes even stronger, making it feel more favored than other weapons. Are there any plans to review its weapon balance? Yeah, the Accelerator feels a bit strong on the Nemesis. I was surprised they put it on there. Currently, no. Wow, with the new time to kill still fresh to the game, we are mainly focused on tackling balance changes on the highest and lowest end of the weapon spectrum. Nemesis is sitting comfortably towards the top, while not overperforming in any way to warrant immediate changes to it. I mean, as a actual weapon itself, it's not really a big surprise that it's not overperforming. But the Accelerator hop up on a weapon that's already quite strong was surprising to me. I thought we'd see it on, like, I don't know, a Prowler or the Repeater or something. Weapons that don't really get much playtime. So, yeah, odd. Okay. Regards the buffs to the Assault and Support classes, when will Legends and other classes receive similar buffs? Wow, we've seen this question. Soon, very soon. And if you've been counting the classes to receive new perks over the last few seasons, Skirmisher class is next up to bat. So more confirmation that it looks like next season we're probably getting the Skirmisher season, which will be very exciting. Those are the best Legends in the game. So, well, movement-wise, I should add. So it's going to be fun to see them get buffed. Is the performance mode on console Sydney servers a known issue to the developers? I'm going to just look at that. There's a big bug fix, but they said OCE server issues are being investigated and on the Trello. It's a console thing. I'm not too sure about what that is. Okay. Oh, what is this? In the last AMA, I was hinted that Skirmisher Legends will be buffed soon. Are there plans to revisit Controller and Recon Legends? They were buffed in Season 22, but their changes were outclassed. Interesting. Legend Spotlight passes have some nice value, but I think there would be a benefit in a Legend Mastery system. Has there been discussion of adding a Legend Mastery system? Yes, I'd like to see that personally. So far, how satisfied has the Respawn team been with the changes? I enjoy them and think the game feels much more fun. Accelerated weapons. Will these be rotated? Putting this hop up on already strong guns really reinforce not choosing similar weapons. Yeah. Why would I take the Hemlock when the Nemesis is right there? They literally said that. Last, since the 1x Hollow is removed, I was curious about other scopes. If you're able to share, what scopes are most and least used? Interesting. I can only speak for myself here, but yes, I think the team is super pleased and excited about what we are able to bring to this anniversary season. Okay, it's an exciting shape up, moving up into the next year. Yeah, I mean, the meta changes have definitely changed the meta a lot recently. Rotating accelerated weapons, short answer, yes. Slightly longer answer, just like how our hop-up system ebbs and flows with the current weapon meta, as will the accelerated weapon rotation. Oh, okay, so they're actually going to take that accelerator feature and move it to different guns. That's interesting. Okay. With the addition of arsenals, it felt like there were too many vectors to guarantee your ammo supply in the game, and in order to highlight all of the gameplay arsenals has to offer in its debut season, replicators took a small hit on their ammo economy. Okay. I would say that the most popular optics really depend on what the weapon meta is shaking out to be. Marksman, 3x and 2 to 4x. Shotgun, 1x or no optics. You get the picture. Above all, the 1x Hollow sat at the bottom of the charts. Yeah, it makes sense. I'm not sad to see it go. They didn't really answer any of the other questions about the weapon mastery, but perhaps that was not for them to answer. Okay. In the last AMA, it was hinted that Skirmisher Legends will be buffed soon. Oh, wait. That's actually a reply to the first part of this question. Okay, nice. We do occasionally like to hint at things. There are currently no plans to revisit the Controller and Recon Legend classes wholesale, and we're more likely to see the other classes come down back to earth. Yeah, so, I mean, buff them all like crazy and then adjust afterwards. Seems the best way, right? We'd like to see how all the classes land once the dust settles before revisiting. One thing the class-focused seasons have shown is how the legends within each class, while all getting empowered, tend to fight each other for position and focus in the spotlight and meta, and in the future, we'd like to go after changes that could impact characters across the class spectrum, so Seer and Caustic are certainly on our radar. Oh no. I'll be hiding when that happens. Seer and Caustic meta. However, we also know there are some concerns with the classes. Like with a new change to the max level that impacts the Controller Legends perk greatly that we've discussed looking into, we'd like to tackle all of these. It will just be a matter of time, a priority as to which goes first. Okay. More Legend releases? Yes. New Legends are coming. Ooh. As our design director has stated, they just haven't had as much impact on the game with a much larger roster. Now, I know that it's not going to affect the meta as much, and people, like, they get the data, right? They'll see that most people don't really try the new Legend after, like, the first couple days, but from a marketing perspective, I always feel like the Legends bring the biggest hype to the game, so it's kind of a shame. I have a feeling that the lack of new Legend releases actually impacted the game's performance in much bigger of a way than they realized. The whole, like, YouTube hype for trailers and stuff was always around the new Legends. So it's good to see that coming, but it's a shame that they're still slowed down. Changes that impact more than just one Legend at a time and can be felt by a large number of players in Apex to make the game feel like it's fresh and evolving. Yeah, like That's true. They are doing big meta changes across the board that feel the most different for as many players as possible, and they are hitting that mark. But I do feel like we're missing out on new hype for big system-wide meta changes. They're so big that when a new player comes back or a returning player asks me, like, and they come to my stream and they're like, what is different? What have I missed out on? I haven't played since Season 8. It's like, there's so many changes that it's hard to really wrap around how to explain it to them. So for the average player that's still playing every day, great, it's fun. But I feel like there's a bit of something missing for those players that haven't come for a long time. I can tell them, oh yeah, the new legend was Alta, about it, But they did say that doesn't mean we don't want to add a new piece to the chessboard now and again. Stay tuned, may come sooner than you think. As for Legend Mastery, it's unfortunately not something we have the folk on board to cover today. Okay, that's a shame. They did say they were going to think about doing that a long time ago, but I don't know if that's still in the plans. Okay, let's see. I have 2 questions related to the Accelerator hop-up. I would love to know the reasoning as to why the Accelerator hop-up has been placed on the Nemesis/Scout. Best weapons in their classes. Yeah, agreeable. I have seen a lot more car usage, which I think is great. Is there any consideration being given to removing the Accelerator benefits via Stowed weapon? I think this is way too overpowered. Yeah, so for those that don't know, if you have an Accelerator hop-up in your inventory on a weapon and you don't even use that weapon, but you get a knock with it, it will give you 30% alt charge, which is pretty crazy. A little peek behind the curtain. In early testing of accelerated weapons, we tried adding the Accelerator hop-up into lower performing weapons like the RE45 and 3030. In short, we found that despite this delicious cookie of extra ultimate and evo gains, the Accelerator weapons were still not being used, as this was the first time we've added a hop-up coming by default onto a weapon, but wanted it to be strong and be utilized, and to do so, we put them on already well-performing weapons. The car was our true middle of the pack weapon at the time, so we also wanted to give it some love as well. Okay, so they actually want people to use it on powerful weapons, so it gets out there in people's hands. Regarding accelerated weapons working when stowed, we also had originally playtested a version where you needed to be holding the weapon in your hands to get the benefit of the system. The feedback around this was that it was frustrating when getting the knock or kill on someone and then realizing, oh no, I forgot to swap to my G7. Now I don't get the extra charge. Yeah, no, that does make sense. I think the current system is good. They could probably tone down the alt charge maybe a little bit, like especially if you're playing like a Ballistic or a Rampart. You can just turret someone like constantly with Sheila. Like you have infinite ammo basically. Because every time you kill someone with Sheila, you'll get more ammo. When are you going to give Pathfinder Horizon's passive and put his grapple back on home cooldown? We have no plans to give Pathfinder the passive of our dear Space Mom. She has moon boots, he has robot chicken legs. Nice reply. It doesn't work with the laws of physics. Lovely. Pathfinder's grapple change was a necessary change at the time. We'll be looking at adjustments to Pathfinder soon. Ooh, yeah, I mean, with the Skirmisher update, something's got to come. Okay. Please respawn. Is there any hope for an alternate or dedicated bind for movement passives besides the jump bind in Apex? To emphasize, adding this option would give legends like Revenant, Ash, Lifeline, and Velk more intentional movement, preventing accidental passive activation during advanced movement techniques that require double or multi-jumps. Would love that too. Totally hear the frustration. It's something we're discussing and actively working on a solution for. There are a number of parameters and side effects to this we've had to consider, so it's not exactly a simple change, but we've heard the feedback and want to make sure we have a clean solution that we have time to test and work out the kinks for. Hopefully, we'll have something to tackle this in hand soon. So they're working on it. Cool. Right, what's next? I've got a couple questions. That is a lot. Is Skirmisher class the next up to... Yes, Skirmisher getting buffed. The answer, yes. We've seen that. Are there any of the older prestige skins getting their dive trails? Okay. Are we going to see any original heirlooms? Universal heirlooms don't feel as good. Our collection event's just gone. Our stones are super anti-consumer friendly. Is there any chance Pathfinder grapples gets reverted back to distance-based cooldown? Number one, yep. We've been making changes over the last seasons to ensure the core gameplay identity of each class and give them a specialization. As you've noticed, skirmishers have not yet seen their heyday. That's coming soon. As for Pathfinder returning to variable grapple, there's a very good chance of that happening. Just can't put a date on that there. He's intentionally taken a backseat recently to allow other legends a chance at the spotlight at the start of Season 23. Despite the changes to the support class, he was the second most played legend on the roster. Yeah, well, okay. It does feel bad, though. 30-second cooldown does impact how frequently you can swing across the battlefield. We don't intend to keep that fun out of the game forever. May not be a revert, so to speak, but you can expect some more changes soon. Pathfinder mains, that's got to be interesting. Then this guy says, oh wow, you really just casually ignored it. Question 2, 3, and 4. No, sorry, just outside my realm of knowledge. This AMA was focused on weapons and legends, and we don't have much to do with prestige skins, heirlooms, collection events, or dive trails. Whole different set of folk to look at that part of the game. Didn't have the right people in hand to answer those questions today, and it wasn't the focus of the AMA. The feedback itself we can pass along, though, just don't have the answers for you. Yeah, I mean, the people responsible for, like, monetization and stuff would probably never do an AMA, but understandable reasons. We've all shared our opinions on the way they're doing monetization recently. It's not great, but yeah, it's a bit like speaking to a brick wall when it comes to that side of the dev team, unfortunately. Okay, what can we expect with a mid-season update? Are the rest of the assault characters going to receive tuning? Can we bring the energy ammo economy back to what it used to be now that Havoc is in the care package? It's so hard to want to use guns like the Vault or Nemesis when you're fighting for ammo. Also, is there a reason why the ammo you get from the crafting got nerfed? I can speak to energy ammo a bit here. Currently, no, there are no plans to revert the changes on the energy ammo stack size. While Havoc was a driving force of the change originally, all of our energy weapons perform exceedingly well, and as we've seen with this new time to kill, weapons like the L-Star and Vault have been seeing an uptick in performance. Ammo stack size has been a really good way to control the prevalence of these strong weapons in the meta, so teams aren't always triple stacking L-Stars to beam you down. And yeah, I mean, the ammo economy thing, you get more ammo from the arsenals, so I don't think it's as much of a nerf as people think. Pathfinder nerf. I feel like his charged zipline was the reason for his high pick rate and competitive and ranked. And the grapple was just extra damage that whose masters movement. You're welcome. We agree, it worked. We think we crushed a little bit of ourselves inside going back to the 30-second grapple. We don't plan to keep him down for long, and we're looking changes to reel his grapple back up there. We got some things cooking for Pathfinder in the next couple patches. Oh, exciting. Okay. Ash might be one of the most fun characters, but this is kind of unfair to compare to other legends. I think some of her abilities do like the counterplay. It could be balanced and counter of the snare after hitting you became tangible and we can shoot it. Okay. Also, she needs some audio when her dash starts and finishes. I do feel like there needs some audio. Yeah. Glad you're liking changes to Ash. There's some great points of feedback we can take back with us. Allowing players to shoot out the snare is something we've contemplated before. Might be something we revisit. For a long time, her snare felt very ineffective and was far too easy to escape. We wanted to make sure it was doing its job as advertised with a rework for the season. Now that it's hitting, we can look into further tweaks to balance it out if necessary. Yeah, I mean, she was never really that meta for a long time, so there was never a reason to think about destroying it. But we'll see, right? Like if she's in the meta for a long time still, and I guess with this dash she probably will be, then yeah, maybe they could do that. But it's only like just now that she's ever really felt like that annoying with her snare, mainly because of the change the AI made to it. So interesting. Do you think Ballistic is achieving the utility they intended for him? I'm not a very skilled player, so I'm sure I'm not getting the most out of him, but it seems to me that he feels a bit short. Given the change in time to kill, I'd rather use any other assault legend than him. And likewise, I don't perceive him as a big threat when he's on the opposing team, unlike Ash, Bangalore, and Maggie. Thank you very much for reaching out to the community. Request for an AMA about matchmaking and lore. I need more stories. Okay. Ballistic is a tough legend to pin down. His utility comes mainly from his ability to influence the natural gun skill output of a fight. So in the right hands, he can be pretty powerful. In the right team, he can be a menace. But a lot of his power is not immediately obvious. His sling requires some maintenance and game knowledge to use effectively. His tactical requires knowledge of how to pressure an enemy to force them to deal with it. And his ultimate requires you to take advantage of the speed and stat boons alongside your team. I love that word, boons, which can make him difficult to understand. Some of the changes this season aim to make some of his power more obvious, okay? And alongside the else, Clive is proven fairly successful. His 1v1 potential is high. His team deathball action is scary. And Ballistic has climbed from the bottom 5 to the top 5 this season. That being said, we can see how yourself or others might not immediately feel the advantages, not see him as a threat, and they'll continue to work on it. To be honest, I think Ballistic's in a really, really great space. I love playing Ballistic, always did, but now he feels nightmarish. Especially if you got an Accelerator hop up, you will have your ult all the time. It's nuts. Was the implementation of relics last season of sickness successful enough to warrant it be brought back? Oh, yeah. So they did make the relic takeover a separate LTM now, so they reacted pretty quickly to that. It's a shame that they had the really good respawn mode and then went straight back to the relic thing. But, you know, it's cool. It's good that they have LTMs running all the time. Will you revert Pathfinder's grapple? Everyone's asking about Pathfinder's grapple. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's coming. Redemptions was super cool and finally like the R31 variant. Can we please get away from relic mode? Yeah. Obviously, yes, they did. Yeah. Basically, a few questions about the same thing. Takeover, LTMs. I think they should just... So they basically said that they want to try and make takeovers because when you do an LTM alongside trios and duos, it spreads out the player pool too much and it makes unbalanced matches. So it's kind of hard for them to do, but they realized from community feedback that they just had to go ahead and do it because no one was enjoying playing the takeover mode. Was the Pathfinder grapple nerf ever going to be reworked? That's the main thing. Like Pathfinder, LTM, those are the two main topics, and they've been answered. But yeah, one more question here. The addition of the red helmet is the only item in the game capable of pushing a legend to have that extra health was an important shift of the game. If playing a particular class or character granted access to this extra... Yeah, so they're basically saying they may think about adding the controller perk, allow you to level up to red armor, but not yet. They're not marked for a meta shake-up season. They had the unfortunate luck of being the first class alongside Recon. Okay. Sheila Tracker? Sheila kills Tracker for Rampart, even if it starts at 0. Okay. Yeah, so in summary, next season, skirmisher updates, Pathfinder buffs are coming, new legend is coming, and I guess that's pretty much it. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.